Class, and today we're going to talk about fractions and constructs and their meanings. This is an explanation video. It's by Michael Templeton. All right, class. And when we think about fractions, a lot of people get nervous and they're afraid, and it's a hard concept to grasp, especially for younger students. But let's dive into this. All right. Fractions can be represented in many ways, as part of a whole, as a division, measurement, an operator or an operation, a ratio. And first we're going to take a look at part of a whole. All right, here we have a circle. The circle is divided into four areas, and as we can see, the shaded part is represented by 1/4. So we have 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, and all those equal together add up to a whole. It also can be used in division. There's 8 slices of pizza here, so if we were to show that as fractions, we have 1/8, 1/8, 1/8, 1/8, 1/8, 1/8, 1/8, and you guessed it, 1/8. So there are 8 slices, as I told you in the beginning. Each slice is equal to 1/8. To use this in a division, simply, if you had 4 kids and you wanted to divide this pizza so each kid got the equal amount of pizza slices, you would do 4 into 8. So 4 goes into 8 2 times. So each kid, therefore, would get, you got it, 2 slices. Measurement, as you guys know, this is a pretty familiar object that you guys probably are aware of. It's a ruler. We have, you can see the 1 inch, but I want to show 1/2 of an inch. So right there we got a half because we got 1, our second line. There you go. So that this line right here is halfway between 0 and 1, so it is 1/2 an inch. Next we got operator or an operation. So here I got 8 circles. And all right, so in this group there are 8 circles. These are tables that are in a classroom. There are 4 that are blue and 4 that are turquoise. So half of the class sits at the blue tables and half of the class sits at the turquoise tables. Ratios compares probability, or compares one group to the whole group. So if we had a class, and in the classroom we have boys and girls, 3/4 of the class are boys, 1/4 are females. So in relation to the whole class, 3/4 of the class are boys, while 1/4 of the class are girls. What makes up a fraction? Well, I've shown you fractions and how they're represented, but let's break it down and see what each of the numbers mean. So we got the 1 over the 8, like as we did with the pizza. The 1 equals our numerator. This number changes. It represents the parts of the whole that we're trying to get to. The denominator does not change because that is the whole number that we are getting to. So we would need 8 1/8 to equal a whole, right? Because then we have 8 over 8 equals 1. There's a lot of misconceptions when it comes to fractions. The biggest part that kids have a trouble understanding is actually that fractions are a part of a whole number. They're a number. They're just a between whole numbers. Like we had this before. Here is our circle. This is the whole, or whole number, and here it again is divided into 4 equal parts. So we have a quarter, a quarter, a quarter, and another quarter. So all 4 of these equal 1. So that equals our whole number or shape or object or whatever we are trying to find out. Another misconception is that these are two separate numbers. They are not. This is actually a whole, 1/4 is a whole number. The 1 is not a separate number. The 4 is not a separate number. This is a number, and it is part of a whole number. Not really a misconception, but it is easier when starting out learning about fractions. Instead of saying 1/4, it is easier to say 1/4, as here we have 1/3, 2/5, and 5/8. It's easy for students when first learning fractions to use this side instead of this side when explaining fractions. Some technology that I found, a couple of websites I found that I really liked and enjoyed when I went through it is, the first one is I Practice Math. And basically this is just a bunch of practice examples that you can go through. It also has you can learn about each part. As you can see, you got the fraction here. It tells you pretty much what we just talked about, parts of a whole bunch of stuff that you can pick from and practice what you've learned. The next site is Splash Math, and this one looked really fun. I played a couple games. It breaks it down by grade level, so each grade level you can pick as the games that are for the certain level that you're at. Not only is it fun, but helps you learn about fractions and just have a general good time with fractions, because fractions can be scary, as I said in the beginning. No need to be afraid, though. We will get through it. We talked about it being parts of a whole, how they represented division, measurement, as I showed you on the ruler, an operator or operation, and the ratio where we showed the girls and boys of a whole class. Give you a couple misconceptions. Just remember, it is a fraction is a number. It is not two separate numbers. All right, class. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video and learned a little bit. I'm going to show you the last slide, which is just some references that I used to create this slide. All right. I hope you guys have a good day. All right. Thank you.